So, 4v4 League, Season 1, Division 8, Playoff Final. This is the map draft. We're full on with the picks, and then banning down to the final starting map. This will change for Season 2. We'll have pick, ban, pick, and then bans. I think we'll need to sort something out for a better version, so to speak, more fair map drafting version. But in any case, we have the first pick for Carried by Beber, or yeah, that's the team name actually. Team Islands, first pick, so they enjoy some water or maybe a landing place. We'll have to see about that. And first pick for the other team is Nomad. They seem to be Nomad enjoyers, gone for both Nomad and African Clearing, which are unpredictable maps that could favor the underdog, I should say. Then there's Chaos Pit, and finally African Clearing, as we can see, for the other team. And we proceed to ban to decide the first starting map, the neutral one. So Golden Lakes, Amazon Tunnel, Arabia, and Colosseum off the menu, whereas the designated starting map will be Hideout. So let's have a look at the civilizations of choice here. Won't go too much into it, since there's lots of civs for players. But for Hideout, Saracens is kind of a frequent one on flank for these for that map in team games. People seem to be enjoying that. And do we have any students here, perhaps? Bohemians could be a good flank as well. Seen Ethiopians and even Spanish could be a good flank. Could get a castle down and drop some conquistadors out. Khmer, quite common pocket for hideout games, yeah. There's a lot to choose from, really, so we'll see if they prioritize the good ones for the first game or what will happen. So let's just pull the first game and see what they bring us. First game, hideout. We pick out the Persians. Not saving Persians for Nomad. That is peculiar to me. But suppose we'll see where it leads us. So while they're getting started, let's make sure that the scoreboard is up to date. This is 4v4 League, Season 1. Native. And then there's if I spelled that correctly. Right, so let's have a look at Frontenac first. Ethiopian's flank. So I got that one right in my guesses. Very nice in the back, so less vulnerable to a tower rush on this flank, the grey player. Ethiopians could play a few late charges here. They're really close, so certainly not an unthinkable. In the pocket we have GUI Destroy as the Tudens. Great pocket for these closed and semi-closed maps, because the farms are 40% cheaper for the Teutons, so great economy, and they have fantastic melee units as the game goes on. A little bit unlucky with the sheep here. There's lots of multitasking when you need to keep the gate open with the sheep like this. And funny that that's even possible, but it is what it is. So pulling in the sheep from outside and pushing them all the way towards the TC, so that kind of caused the villagers to have to run for the faraway sheep here. Lots of villagers on this sheep. Looks like a food-heavy approach here. Maybe like a 22-23 population castle age already. Feudal age into a fast castle. Boom with the Teutons, depending on what the flank is doing. Sneaky stab as the Persians here into green. Another great pocket for booming. It's a surprise to me that they didn't save the Persians for Nomad. They're deciding to delete the walls here for ease of pushing deer. It's fine, especially in the pocket position. You're not going to be facing any nasty early aggression from this position. And finally, charge with the Chinese. Another good closed map civilization, and keeping that idle TC time low for now. It's ticking away a little bit. You have to force stock food to be able to keep the Chinese villager production going early in the game, because the Chinese start with 0 food, but 3 extra villagers, so still keeping at least 1 villager lead here, the blue player. Let's have a look at carried by Beber's team. Sai as the Saracens on one flank side here, going to be up against the Chinese. If this is intended as feudal age archers aggression, that could be an issue against the Chinese starting with extra villagers, but they do like that food as well, so it's not as easy for Chinese to go fast castle even with those extra villagers, because they're kind of forced to get loom early to avoid idle towns at the time. So could be a feudal age battle on this side between the Saracens and the Chinese. In the pocket here, Apache as the Franks. Going to be making those knights into cavaliers and paladins for sure. Just like to go to for the Franks. Not many other things that make sense in team games for Franks, really. Other than the cheaper castles to drop for map control as well. Second pocket, Slavs for no. In the purple. Or pink, or whatever you want to call it. This is purple to me. But Slavs, yep, great boom again. More efficient farmers. Also got a unique technology changing the stone cost, or parts of the stone cost for castles. The detonets, is it? In the that has to be a castle age tech, right? It makes it easier to get to the boyars, which is essentially the Slavs' substitute for not having access to paladins. But still a great cavalry unit, even in many ways even more tanky than the paladin, but you need castles to produce them, so. But you could also play cavalry, of course, into the cavaliers until you need something even more beefy as the game goes on. We'll see how long this game goes. I think, seeing as it is hideout, we'll speed this up a little bit and see if there's going to be any feudal age aggression, and there for sure is going to be some feudal age efforts from carried by Beber here. Beber. I don't know how they pronounce their team name. There we go. Feudal age is in. Barracks is up for Sai. That's going to be the archery range coming up now, most likely. Outside of the base, we're going aggressive here. And the Chinese civilization player also opting for feudal age here. Did get away with only 49 seconds of idle towns at the time. I think that's very respectable for the Chinese. So keeps that villager lead, matches the uptime of several of the others with similar villager numbers, but having had to use less resources overall for the villagers' production. Did not scout the ranges, but probably expecting the Saracens to go for them here. Straight double range for Sai here. Looks like the gold situation could be an issue short term, but as the gold production gets going, it's going to be fine. Going to be joined by scouts from the... Oh, hold on. Okay, Bohemians. Hiding the ranges in the back, not taking any chances here. Perfectly fine, just a little bit longer travel distance for these orange archers. Maybe not ideal. They do have the Saracens team bonus though, so they also break through walls more quickly. Walls more quickly. Grey is of course suspecting this and going for the double palisade walls in defense here. Not opting for any fast cast later or anything here. So, or maybe actually is. It's getting close to that cast late click with Ethiopians. That could be deadly. That could be an issue for the opposing team here. But the first few archers are trickling in. They have some extra damage against buildings, as you can see. And the scouts numbers increasing as well. So full on feudal age for carried by Beber, by the looks of it. Yeah, scouts, archers on both sides. More common on Arabia-style open maps than on Hideout, but who's to say it won't work here as well? Pretty sure there's a hole between these two ranges, so if they break through this palisade gate, they could be looking at great damage against the other team. Looks like they have some server issues. I'm not sure if this is... I think this might be recorded lag, actually, because they had the server lag. I hope so. Maybe it's just my computer struggling with the 4v4 format. But looks like orange and purple are in. Grey is going to take a heavy blow here. But the Castle Age right around the corner. Just now getting Loom. Didn't have Loom here, so going to take some serious losses to carried by Beber's aggression. Loom is in, yeah, but villagers have been lost. 3 villagers lost already. Resource situation not too pretty here. Completely off gold. Huge issue for Ethiopians that usually would want to be making archers, ideally. Archers into crossbows. Let's see for the other side. Scouts, archers breaking through. This looks like it could be a really quick game on Hideout. But we do have 2 Nomad start maps as home maps for Frontenac Castle Drop, so they might be able to revenge that. Looks like their pocket, the Persians player, has managed to get some knights out as well. Did go straight fast Castle Age there. Could be the solution to feudal age pressure if your flank can survive the initial aggression, but there's heavy pressure happening on both sides here now from carried by Beber. Taking a rest for now. Still committed. Everyone committed to the feudal age from carried by Bever's side. Pounding away at the lumber camp. Yeah, Grey is not having a great time here. Must have been overwhelmed by this heavy pressure. Not too uncommon to see the flanks going against each other with archers on Hideout, but to see a full-on feudal age pressure like this, I mean, it works when you have the Saracens bonus, right? Because you can break through the palisade walls and or gates a lot more quickly, but still, you could keep that aggression out for a while with towers and stone walls potentially. I mean, you don't need to pound away at these houses, really. There's an opening here, maybe a little bit too close to the TC. Persian pocket knights, increasing in numbers here. No bloodlines, though. Did I say Persians? Yeah, so no bloodlines. But decent numbers, and now the defense coming in as well. So it's Castle Age knights against feudal age armies, but it's a double feudal age army, and until you get the +2 defense, even the feudal age archer mass, when it's this large, could do a lot against smaller numbers of knights. Production capabilities going down for Grey as well, losing 1 range here, going to lose another one probably to the Bohemians. Ranged units here as well. Here comes the defensive tower, only 1 villager to build that. Lost 24 villagers so far, down to 14 villagers. And isn't even allowed to complete that tower. Has a couple of defensive archers, but that's about it. Doesn't seem to be getting much help from the teal player. The knights massing up here, but maybe waiting for more numbers to engage. Seems a little bit puzzled as to what to do here. Sneaky stab from the pocket position. Just fighting overwhelmingly large numbers here. The range goes down. Now, at this point, for Carried by Beber, they've done plenty damage to Grey. They need to move on. Maybe they're scared about the fact that GUI Destroy is in the Castle Age and Scott Knights out. But they still have a massive military numbers advantage here. Castle Age now in for Sai as the Saracens as well. Going for a forward monastery. Might not be able to complete that. Has to bail on that one. But will get the villagers away from the archers unless the Green Knights pick them up and deal with those guys. Forward stables from the Franks as well to produce the knights closer to the opposing side. Might not be a bad idea. Makes it easier to remass the units and closer to the forward bases. Yeah, so that ends the first game. Has to be said that they were chatting about some server issues as well, which we could find if I go high enough up here. Sorry, a lot of lag for me. That's never fun to play with. And they've had some server issues, so hopefully that's remedied for the next game. You don't want to play on lousy servers, of course. It's even in the rules that you're supposed to find the best server between the teams. So, presumably they fixed that for the next one. Let's have a look at the statistics and see if we're going to see Nomad or African Clearing next. And this could... From this first game, it feels like it might become a 3-0 stomp, but Nomad starts. You never know. You don't get designated towns at the spot. You need to find your spots, and if you're a Nomad, adaptation and strategy at some point, you could easily do very well against higher ranked opponents. Significantly earlier feudal ages here in general, as Frontenac went for the more fast castle style approach. Which means that they're vulnerable early in the Castle Age as they can't really mass enough as much armies as the feudal age committed team, because they are spending resources going to the Castle Age. Lots of villagers lost for Grey, unfortunately, but we'll see how they handle the next one. See, that's Ethiopians, Persians, Teutons, Chinese. I'm surprised they would use Persians for hideout, but they're probably saving Spanish for Nomad. The winning side had Saracens, Franks, Bohemians, and Slavs. And that's hideout out of the way. We're going to Nomad or African Clearing next. They could even choose the opponent side's maps. But yeah, let's work under the assumption that Nomad is next, that's the first pick. Then we're going to see Spanish. We could see Turks. And then Japanese and even Bengalis come to mind. Koreans would be good for the war wagons as well. Mongols for the hunt, not to be underestimated. Georgians, Monaspa, perhaps. Hey, Jfish, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate that. It took me a while to get to them, but we're getting there. I hope to be able to wrap up the 4v4 playoff finals during the upcoming week. Carried by Beber. Italians strikes me as a Nomad Civ. Ah, that could be Team Islands, actually. So, but Lithuanians, probably a Nomad Civ. Dravidians. No, that's also Team Islands. Interesting. Not too sure what to expect here. Poles would do alright. I think Lithuanians would be a good Nomad Civ. Malians, pretty much a given. Mayans could be alright with the plumed archers for the castles. I think we'll just pop into the game and see what they've gone for. Let's see, replace. Game 2. It is indeed Nomad. 3T Nomad. Okay. Let's have a look. This is Nomad. Plenty of deep fish to be found. Sometimes some corners are better than others, so this would be an epic dock spot, or even over here, to collect the deep fish. But the players have to settle somewhere and then worry about the docks later, of course. You want to get your town center down as soon as possible, as well as your dock, assuming you can afford it. Looks like we have an almost Socotra-like middle positioning here with some players settling to the west side as well. Can already tell that this will be a potentially chaotic game with all of the town centers within like a small oval area in the middle here. But let's have a look at the civilizations. Apache has gone for the Berbers. Gets faster moving villagers and ships. So when taking fights on water, whether it be with fire galleys or galleys, you're moving slightly faster, so you get to dictate when and where the fights happen. And on land, of course, you have faster moving villagers. Makes it easier to lure boars even without loom, because the boar won't really ever catch up with your villager in the same way as generic villagers. Beber, heavy Beber as the Dravidians, so they're not saving that one for Team Islands after all. But Dravidians, team bonus, docks provide 5 population space. So that's a bonus that provides some good team effect for any map involving water where you'll be docking. We have Nauno as the Malians, pretty common nomad civilization. Any building except for farms cost less wood for the Malians. So it's easy to get your... this might be the only civ nowadays that could actually afford a town center and a dock straight away. And a fishing ship, that is. That should be in the making already. Yep. So you can see from the overview here that the only player with the fish so far is Nauno with the Malians. Finally, Sai with the Mayans, as expected. Probably wants to get the castle up and get those plumed archers out, but a good alternative would be to... I wouldn't say fast castle, but when you get to the castle age, to start producing eagles and use them to raid around the map like you would use cavalry for other civilizations. But yeah, get some castles down and start producing the plumed archers, and you won't need be stopped by walls. It's essentially a foot archers almost playing out like a cavalry archer with the fast movement speed. Not quite as fast, but fast enough to be of a proper annoyance to any player up against the Mayans on a map like this. Let's have a look at Frontenac here. We have Chard playing as the Koreans in the blue. Probably wants to get to war wagons, but also sandwiched in between 2 players here, so going to face potentially some 2-versus-1 aggression from Apache and Heavy Beber, but Orange will probably take some responsibility for water, or maybe Apache as well, depending on how what their scouting is like on water, and if they need to work hard to keep some water control. Middle here, green and purple, almost within DC range, but not quite. They do know that they're close to each other, though. At least Green knows. Green playing as the Spanish. Lost a villager to war already, unfortunately, so maybe a little bit of a long lure causing issues there. But yeah, Spanish, they want to get to the castle age as soon as possible on Nomad, get their castle up, start producing conquistadors, and just run around the map and make life living hell for any opponent. Oh, they like... proper counter to early castle age conquistadors is monks, I would say. Monks could convert them. But the conquistadors still have such high damage output from their ranged gunpowder attack, they would take out small numbers of monks as well. So you'll need lots of monks and or lots of skirmishers to deal with them. Then in the teal we have GUI destroy with the Portuguese here. Portuguese have all of the options. They have cavalry, they have cavaliers fully upgraded. And they have arbalists fully upgraded. They have the unique unit from the castle, the organ guns, which is beastly against large groups of units in closed spaces. So that could be the plan here for GUI destroy as well. Nomad is... On Nomad you commonly see castle drops to deny the map control of your opponent. More frequent than on more standard maps. It's just a way to assume control over the neutral resources. Lots of stones and golds on Nomad, so you need to secure that somehow. And finally, Testicuil with the Bulgarians over here. Could be thinking about Krepos, the unique building in the castle age here, the grey player. That would be a way to assume map control as well. From the Krepos, you can create a unique unit, the Conic, that has essentially 2 lives. So when the Conic gets killed, the rider gets dismounted and turns into an playable infantry unit. A little bit of villager scouting going on here, or maybe just a docking villager not collecting the shorefish. Yeah, not so much shorefish left, so that's probably why they've sent it home. I think we can speed this one up a bit as well. Heavy Weber with the Dravidians here, up at a 21 population here. Pretty darn early for the Dravidians, but gives an indication that we're going to see a second dock here and some naval investment for the Grey player. Let's slow it down a bit. We already have some action happening here. Sneaky stab with the Spanish has been spotted by No, who is going for a defensive tower, I guess, on the stone here. Also to keep the green player away from the stone, of course. But there's the stone down here as well, which I hope green has scouted. Yep, knows there's stone down here, so losing access to this one isn't a big deal. But if the tower rush continues, this could significantly delay the Spanish civilization player here. We have galleys in the making from the Mayans and the Dravidians. Are Mayans playing water? That's a surprise, but they're not the worst, probably. I think they're doing that because they've seen that teal is close, so you want to take out the fish of your opponents to take away that easy to access food from them. So why not the Mayans when your dock is that close? Let's go back to the middle here and see another tower popping up from now. No, really wants to delay the Spanish here, but look at the Spanish player. Did not start collecting stone yet though. That is an issue for the green player. Here comes the somewhat panicky defensive tower here. Going to go for a bit of a boxing fight here against the other villagers as well. Will get the tower up, will secure the stone, but that, you know, when you have clicked or about to click the castle age like this and haven't started mining the stone yet, you'd have to spend tremendous resources to get that castle completed. You have to sell resources and buy stone, and all of a sudden you're not really going to be able to afford the conquistadors anymore, right? Of course, if our green friend here gets that castle up, that's probably going to go up somewhere around here, ideally. That will deal with the forward towers. It will allow you to produce the conquistadors, and you'd be securing your gold, or re-securing your gold at home base as well. Yeah, heavy stone mining here, but as you can see, there's because of that tower as well, it's going to take a long while to get to the 650 stone needed for a castle. Green's player also aiming for a castle here. They seem to be loving scouts, but scouts, not necessarily a bad idea here to move around the map and, well, get some raids in, yes, but more importantly to keep the opponents from completing castles around there. And how on earth did that villager not die? That woman has, yeah, it's her lucky day by the looks of it. She's at 1 HP and she managed to make it back to the TC without the scouts. Armies fading. Yeah, scouts archers again. Seems to be a favorite play for carried by Beber. We're looking at naval armies here. 2 fire galleys, 2 galleys. Not over investing here for carried by Beber. And that's a good sign that they're realizing that we're going to win water relatively easily here. We don't need to invest that much. The other team isn't investing into naval armies at all, so we're fine. We're going to get that fish production real cheap. Okay, I think we have a castle drop on the way here. Enough stone has been collected. I think... Yeah, okay, that's fine as well. That's a fine castle. Still kind of preserves the goal. I'd still would have loved to see it in front here to take out these aggressive towers and more efficiently deny the resources of purple. Now the way No is playing this, yes, going to be committed to feudal age for a while, but with all these towers, when No eventually makes it to the... Might actually deny this castle. No, he won't deny it. Yeah, I was gonna say, once No makes it to the castle age, could research guard tower, assuming Malians get that. I'm not too sure about Malian's tech tree as far as towers are concerned, but I would... Yeah, they do get the guard tower, so... guard tower is a lot stronger than the watch towers, so they could be upgraded to keep to work as a good defense against the conquistadors' aggression. So the Koreans player getting a castle up as well, but at what cost? They're not really assuming the map here as they should. Frontenac castle drop. It's in their name, castle drops. But they are able to get the castles at a cost of their villager and military population, but they are going to fight for the moment weaker armies of their opponents. So if you're patient with the unit masses here and use them wisely, you are going to be looking at some potential good damage here. Dravidians going to drop a castle as well, but the Conquistador is on point, spots that, but because of the massive investment on stone in the early castle age, Sneaky Stab isn't really able to afford a lot of Conquistadors here. Look at these resources. Lost the fish on water as well, remember, so that Conquistador production has just gone completely out of the works. I don't really think this castle can complete for Heavy Weber, but it certainly is a distraction yet again that keeps Sneaky Stab from producing more Conquistadors. So it does the trick. It's delaying the Spanish player. That's all they want to do on Nomad. If you can delay the Spanish from massing the Conquistadors and roaming around the map, you've done well. And this denies not just 1 but 2 goals, and suddenly Sneaky Stab will need to go far away to secure gold access here. Lost 10 villagers, but also killed 9 villagers, mind you, in the process, placing this castle up top. So it's been some more equal trades here than on the hideout game. This castle will not complete unless something spectacular happens and this one weak villager completes it, but she's not fast enough. War wagons increasing in numbers as well. You only need wood and gold to mass war wagons, as opposed to conquistadors where you need food and gold. So our blue friend here is doing some work, but also running into pretty significant masses of crossbows knights, and soon to run into some elite skirmishers perhaps as well. Okay, we're committing here. Forward castle for the Dravidians. Dravidians, unique unit, nothing special unless you're up against infantry civilizations. I guess you could label Bulgarians an infantry civilization. But yeah, the Urumi swordsman probably not going to see much play here. That's just to assume map control nomad. Another castle drop for the Koreans to have 2 castles to produce the war wagons now. Numbers increasing, then the military numbers are well in favor of carried by Beber still, but tiny bit of that is on water. It's going to come down to team coordination here, as technically the stronger units is on Frontenac Castle Drop's side. This castle will complete, so that makes it harder for the crossbows and knights to raid from this angle as well. Good castle. Don't think it ranges the orange TC, but it does range some farms and denies a gold. So there's that. Go back to the middle and see what's up here. Conquistadors getting some value still. They're trading like villagers with each other here, both gaining and losing economic kills here. And there's the guard tower upgrade, keeping the Conquistadors well away from this angle, but they could still move around to the north side. The Conquistadors Colleagues raiding as well, getting some proper value here against the Mayans, so we're already looking at a more even game than the previous one. Look at the villagers going down for carried by Beber. They have the build 3 momentum. They probably have more resources collected overall as well, but they are taking losses here, so Frontenac Castle Drop definitely still in the game. Grace even still fishing somehow. Another castle drop, but this is a defensive one from now on. Going to drop a castle to defend their teammate over here. Left side, crossbows and monks keeping the war wagons at home. What you could do here as well, if you're Apache, you could try to get some walls up to the side and to the edge of the map, because then you're limiting the angles of attack that Charge has from the south. Charge could be in the pinch in the corner here if Heavy Beber also walled this side, and suddenly you're completely cut off from your teammates. As quick balls right now here, keeping the Conics out. Defensive castle up top as well, carried by Weber. They still have the top side to expand to get more stones and golds. They're not, by no means completely cut off from gold access here. Skirmishers raiding down south as well, being chased by the organ guns. I feel like the organ guns could have made more use from themselves other places, but it is what it is. Smart use of the leftover galleys from Sai here as well, finding some economy that can be ranged from the sea. The villager population, they're both, I mean, they're getting raided. Look at the Bulgarians player. It's Testicuil is getting almost 40 villager kills here, and that's what keeping Frontenac Castle Drop in the game here at this moment. These raids, they're outnumbered in military, but they are killing villagers, so they're keeping up. They in fact have a marginal villager lead at the moment. Of the castle for the Bulgarians as well, could get that unique technology for cavalry to have the cavalry attack faster. Stirrups affects light cav hussars and I think Conics as well. And we also have Teal on the way to the Imperial Age here with the Portuguese, which means that the castles of carried by Beber are at risk of going down to trebuchets, since none of them are on the way to the Imperial Edge or even close to get there at this moment. Apache with the Berbers, so cheaper cavalry, 15% cheaper cavalry, outmassing the Conics and being joined by the crossbow mass, so good team coordination here from carried by Beber. They will need to be careful with the War Wagon's mass, as another castle is attempted by charges here as well, but won't be allowed to get that one up just yet. Smart move to expand to the side as well. I don't know if Charge... Yeah, Charge knows there's gold over there, so good position for that next TC, I guess. Big fight, but fight favoring carried by Weber here. They are doing better at keeping the military production consistent. They have 3 times the military size at this point, but they are at risk of losing their castles, as GUI Destroy now has 3 trebuchets in queue from that one castle. Charge is kind of serving like a punching bag here for the team, but so that his teammates can get their economy expanded. Imperial Age now on the way for Heavy Bever as well, so we'll challenge that trebuchet production and push to the right hand side. These 3 castles are really close to each other. They're not really assuming that much of the map. Obviously makes it easier to mass even more war wagons, as the gold and wood income is on point, and it does secure golds and stones over here, but it's still like very compact base for the blue player. Not necessarily ideal at this stage, and looks like that castle also won't complete because the crossbows and knights are having a say in that. Several castles in the middle now for both the red and the purple player, getting somewhat obstructed by the conquistadors here, but I think the Geppettos moving over now will deal with these conquistadors, maybe with the Conics as well, if you collect them properly, and monks joining in as well. The monks will be able to convert the conquistadors if the conquistadors move within range. Villagers have to evacuate for now, but the conversions will kick in. Yeah, the Geppettos need to be over here now to deal with these conquistadors, I believe. These castles forward. What's that going to do for Sai? I think it might just be to buy time here. It's far away from the Imperial Age, so this is not to take an Imperial Age trebuchet fight over here. Purple also arguably far away. The only player in Imperial Age here for carried by Beber is the Dravidians player. This group of skirmishers are still there. They've actually got some decent raids in. But yeah, that's going to be the end of those castles. Complete in the middle. But how long do they stay up with 3 trebuchets and a mass of organ guns in the middle here? The Geppettos will not be surviving long against this mass of organ guns. The organ gun mass increasing for the teal player. Only 1 castle, but got several more in the queue. And trebuchets really doing work here. Crossbows, unfortunately, in large enough mass to contest this organ gun mass as well. So, oh, that's so unfortunate that GUI Destroy lost all of these, losing almost all of the armies here. Frontenac Castle Drop still with an economic advantage. They've expanded better than the other team, and more importantly, they've been raiding constantly with the Grey player sitting at 75 economic kills currently. It's all about the middle here. Is it blue expanding to the left? I'm not sure if the other team actually know too much about that area, so it's a good sneaky expansion from charge to the left-hand side. Still plenty of space to go to the south for Fronted Knock Castle Drop as well. See, Imperial Age is in for the Bulgarians as well. All but the blue player, no, blue and green player not in the Imperial Age yet. Spanish and Koreans committed to the Castle Age with their war wagons and conquistadors respectively. Actually, no conquistadors anymore. Just the cavalry from Sneaky Stab. Long term, you could get paladins as the Spanish as well, so that might be a worthwhile switch to start already. In the middle here, yeah, still keeps raiding, catches some of the Geppettos as well. Great raiding unit. The Geppettos, they have a high attack, ranged melee attack, but they're also weak, so if the cavalry of the opponent gets close enough, they are going to go down just like this. Uh-oh, Trebuchet is going to waste for GUI Destroy. Still pretty far away from the Imperial Age for the Mayans, but this is going to be a deadly group of Armlesters when or if Sai gets there. Frontenac catching up in military numbers. They have a massive economic advantage at this point. So if they can push carried by Beber off gold and deal with their defensive castles, they're in a good spot here. Apache has switched into camels at this point, cleaning up most of the Spanish cavalry. Devotion coming in to make, to increase the conversion resistance for the Bulgarians units. That's going to be mainly cavaliers at this point, not so much the Onyx. Could still assume the map here as the Bulgarians if you have the stone in the bank and move around. Drop not just castles but also the Krepos just to keep your opponents busy. I mean, it's strange to see this kind of Frontenac honestly in a great spot here because they're taking few hits at their side of the map, but their gold spots are suboptimal compared to the top side. So there's still going to be plenty of gold to be taken here though, but they are losing military, and even if they have a huge economic advantage like this, if they're not able to consistently produce military, the only player currently doing so is Testicuil, and then they might get overwhelmed. Looks like Apache has made it to Imperial Age as well, so the cavalry now 20% cheaper, committed to the camels to become heavy camels soon enough, which should counter the Bulgarians and Spanish knights and cavaliers easily. Look at the military value. 10,000 higher for carried by Beber, so it says something of their military power. As Frontenac Castle Drop, they've had a good push going, but they're slowly losing control over it after having taken some suboptimal fights along the way. Look at this mass of heavy camels. It's 5 stables producing them. Still, Farimba not in just yet. It's 7+4 attack, so now only missing the unique technology for the Malian's cavalry, which will make them so annoying and deadly for raiding across the map with a 7+7 range. total for the camels. Yeah, Organ Gun's doing decent work here, fighting uphill. The monks healing a bit, but it's not going to save them. But here come the camels, and they will exploit the fact that the Organ Guns have minimum range. Once again, the Organ Gun mass is being heavily crippled for the teal player. And with this kind of mass and consistent production behind, probably a healthy economy still as well for Apache, you don't really need to worry too much about Castle Fire taking out your units. Frontlock with the score advantage here still. They still have healthy running economies, but the top side we have elite elephant archers from Heavy Bear, and there are 28 of them currently. Also added some elephant siege weapons. Sneaking in from the top side, they're such a nice unit to deal with unless you have access to siege onagers or extreme amounts of elite or imperial skirmishers. So that's going to be a tough one to deal with for the Bulgarians currently invested into cavalry, and who, if they try to send the cavalry in to deal with the elite elephant archers, if the elite elephant archers don't deal with that on their own, then Apache still has huge amount of heavy camels here to could send over a little group and help in the fighting. Sneaky stab with a decent chunk of cavalier to become paladin, but we need halberdiers for frontal cast drop here now. Definitely need halberdiers to deal with this. The halberdiers would also do decent against the elite elephant archers, assuming they get close enough. But if you look at the actual hit points of these 25 units with 7,000 hit points total, it's ridiculous. Such a beast of a unit if you can get to it. Good fight for Sneaky Stamp though. Not going to be caught by the heavy camels over here. Yeah, they seem to have lag issues again. It's probably a combination of players from different servers causing that. Not ideal. Maybe someone has a weaker computer as well, which doesn't make things easier, but it is what it is, and it's a 4v4. It's always going to be laggy in the late game where so many things like this is happening. Elite elephant archers staying even in a choke point over here. 17 of them and 16 cavaliers. I don't even know how you deal with this. Maybe mass monks, something needs to be made over here. Paladins fighting heavy camels, but who has the better numbers? It's still going to be the Malians. I don't think there's still no Farimba, so Apache has forgotten about the Farimba unique technology, giving 5 extra attack, is it? So these heavy camels could be even stronger. There are several castles here for... Why do you say Farimba? No, is the Malians player. Sorry about that. They are indeed fully upgraded heavy camels. I just expect the Malians to have the camels at this point, and the Malians player has been going for the Gebettos, so... Well, we don't need the Malians going for the camels at this point. Oh, that's a slip. I'm so used to seeing Malians in yellow for whatever reason. That's why I've been saying that. But they are cheap. They are 20% cheaper, the reverse camels, so they are slightly more expendable than generic camels. So they've been fully upgraded for quite a while, whereas the Spanish paladins are still missing the last attack upgrade. Finally, halberdier upgrade coming in for the Portuguese player. So many camels! And there's still no gold running on the lower side for Apache, so that could be scary when the halberdiers increase in mass. In this case for the Portuguese player. Missing a lot of upgrades for now though, missing both attack and defense upgrades. And Frontenac has dropped. They have a military advantage now. They're pushing middle, constructing castles. They've been keeping their sides safe. Only thing that could have been useful for them at this point is to wall the sides where they can to limit the impact of raids from the opposing side. But they are the raiding party at this point. Paladins pushing in Elite Elephant Archers and Issue, but the number has diminished. And the gold situation isn't great for Carried by Beber at this point. They still have gold miners, but they're losing options for gold minings rapidly here, which means that they won't be able to keep up their spam of units, and with the addition of halberdiers here rapidly increasing, they might struggle after all, as they had some huge military momentum not too long ago, but now they're being pushed back. Look at the raiding efforts here from Sneaky Stab and Testikui. Almost 300 military kills by them throughout this game. Siege traps from the Bulgarians player. That's also cheaper for the Bulgarians. 50% discount on the siege weapons. And also keeps assuming the map now with more castles. Could go into more conics again if needed. Norwegian's player seems committed to the heavy elite elephant archers, but mass just isn't quite there. Almost 2 times the military size now for Frontenac Castle Drop. They have massively more villagers, so almost twice the economy. Oh, now the Mines player has gone for Plumed Archers, but again, struggling with numbers here. The only player really pumping out huge masses of military here is Apach, and Apach can't really hold this on her own, I think. So, slowly creeping up the map here for Frontenac Castle Drop. What you could do at this point when you're close or completely at pop cap is start thinking about mining some more stone and not only use castles but get into guard tower or even keeps and manifest the middle with the towers. Just control the, or even bombard towers, control the middle with stationary defenses so that you can keep raiding with your armies pushing forward while having defensive structures keeping the opponent's raids and pushes away. But they certainly have a huge military advantage here. Elite Elephant Archers numbers still not quite where they need to be. Rubber's player gone into light cab, and look like we got the unique technology Kashpa there to speed up the units production, unique units production for all teammates as well. At this point, Frontenac Castle Drop are at the point of over boom, I'd say. They have 140 villagers each for grey and green here. Means that there's less space for military, but also means they have consistent economic resource income, so they can keep massing their armies and not worrying too much about losing units along the way. And there it is. We are, after a very overwhelming hideout game, we've had Frontenac Castle Drop take their home map, their first home map that is, and turn it into a 1-1. GG, well played. Let's have a look at the stats, and let's see what the first home map of Carried by Beber will be. Sneaky stab and testicui. So many kills here, but so many economic kills. That's like half of their kill statistics here are villagers. That keeps the opponents from massing their armies, of course. The uptimes here, fast fuel late into water, winning for carried by Weber. Maybe it's a little bit of their start positioning as well. They focused a lot, or rather, chards in this area. Kept two players busy for a long time, and that allowed Grey and Green to expand to the open area to the southeast, east-ish, and just get their boom going to finally overwhelm the opponents in the end. So, Malians down, Mayans down, Berbers down. And was it Dravidians? Not saying Dravidians for Team Islands. That is peculiar. Spanish, not really winning through conquistadors this time, but they get some serious raids going. Portuguese, earliest Imperial Age there, helped out a lot against the castles and Bulgarians with the massive raids, and Greece just keeping everyone occupied. That's Nomad for Testiqui's team. So if we're having Team Islands next, Armenians, Vikings, Byzantines, Italians would be what I would expect, unless they're planning some landing shenanigans, in which case we could see some other civs. Whereas for Testiqui's team, they did ban Golden Lakes. Yeah, so only one proper water map here really, and that's going to be played. I would expect Japanese, Bengalis, maybe Romans comes to mind. What's the last one going to be? Maybe a landing civilization with one of the others. Could be any of these. Could even land with Aztecs and Monk Rush for that matter. Should be interesting to see. If it's Team Islands as the next one, they could pick a different one as well. But now, Game 3 is indeed Team Islands. Alright, another map like Hideout, which will be off to a kind of a slow start. Not going to be any early action on maps like these. But we can take our time to have a look at the civilizations of choice. Incas for Sai. I think the main reason might be that it grants 100 bonus food to the teammates with the starting llama. Makes for smoother Dark Age into the Feudal Age, and Incas not too famous for their naval play. Of course they could, but they could also perform a landing and make Feudal Age archers, even Eagle Scouts for that matter, but not too commonly seen. But let's say land with some archers and just be annoying on land. It's in distance pretty close here. Town center actually very close to the top side. Not sure if that's an advantage or disadvantage when landing in this case. Apart from the pocket position with the Armenians. Fires 2 arrows for the galleys. And in the Imperial Age, stronger demolition ships after researching the unique technology. Probably going to play water here, maybe fast castle something. And then there's Nauno with the Vikings. Also from the pocket, amazing economy with instant wheelbarrow and handcart as you progress through the ages as the Vikings. And also the unique boat, the longboat, that's usually seen on these maps when you're playing water with the Vikings. It's almost like a true canoe on water, firing so quickly and smooth maneuvering of it as well as the logboats maneuver quickly around the map and have a short reload time. Even take out buildings relatively quickly because of the fast firing rate. So this is a situation where we would have wanted Portuguese for the other team, because then you could have made caravels, which is the go-to response unit to Vikings longboats in many cases. But they have already been played, the Portuguese, so that doesn't really apply here. Heavy Beber with the Italians. Italians have cheaper fishing ships. They also have other bonuses applying to naval maps, like 15% cheaper advancement to the next age. Add to that the Incas 100 extra bonus food from the starting llama, and you're set up nicely for a fast feudal age galleys play here for Italians. I don't think we're quite close. We could be seeing the fire galleys as well, but I think it's most likely to be the galleys on flank here for the Italians. So that they can assume the water license early and then land later and close out the game through a landing if need be. Charge as the Bengalis on flank here. Bengalis have self-healing ships, heal slowly, so if you pull them out of battle, the Bengalis ships can get back to full health if they're left alone for long enough. Also have strong monks and elephant options for land, but they're considered pretty decent civilization for naval maps. They've seen a lot on islands and Timor Islands for their bonuses applying to water as well. Sneaky stab with the Burgundians. That feels more like a landing civilization to me, or maybe just boom and defend on land kind of civilization. Not too famous for their naval play, but if you send a transport ship over with a couple of builders and get some stables up on the opposing island, you could cause some mischief while they're busy micromanaging their military on water. Or you could place your barracks and stable defensively and just stay in control over the home island and scout for opposing sides landings, because landings are going to happen on the team islands, just the way it works. It's such a huge land mass to land on. GUI Destroyer has gone for Khmer. Now that's a more obvious landing civilization in my opinion. Not any huge investment on wood here, mainly food. Seems to try for a fast feudal age here. Just now dropping the lumber camp. Khmer don't need any buildings to unlock other buildings or to advance to the next stage. So they are also, for that reason, a more commonly seen landing civilization. So we'll be on the lookout for some transport ships as we go here. Red is definitely planning to transport with the Incas here. No transport ships for front-to-lock castle drops so far. Japanese for Testikui. Cheaper resource drop-off points. Makes it a little bit easier to afford the mills, mining camps, whatever, while producing water. The fishing ships have a faster work rate as well. But now we have the feudal age in for the Italian players. Second dock completing just seconds after reaching the feudal age. Galley production kind of happening, but also housed from lack of population space here for heavy BB, so that sets back that early feudal age advantage quite a little bit. Loom coming in for red, so red definitely landing here with Incas. Already landed. And great, just missed it! So close, but he missed it. 3 builders, not taking any chances here. Sigh. So that's going to be both the barracks and archery range on land then. Range soon enough as well. 7 on gold would be plenty too. Could they get things started for the production. Now I'm going to scout, maybe for the landing again. So Testikoi might know what's happened. He is going to spot that barracks. Sees the villagers as well. So we're going to see the flare over here probably. Okay, something is going on. Or maybe not. Ooh! Spearman landed as well, but there's going to be double ranges. Okay. Now, so that's carried by the Bell landing. We have a blue transport ship here moving over as well, but mainly with the green units. So Burgundians forward landing. No. Might spot that. Will he get lucky? Nope. Alright, so is that a wood issue? Yes, it is. Has the barracks at home, so that's going to be a straight stable. Could be nasty for carried by Weber if they're not prepared for this land situation. Purple now moving out for a forward dock. Also won't really spot these things. So 2 docks going up in the fog of war over here. Could actually be denied by the first few scouts over here as they go. Let's see for the scouting blue. Mainly scouting for places to hit here. No loom for any of the players. Oh, yellow has loom actually. And red probably has loom as well because of the landing situation over here. So Grey attempts a defensive tower against the forward ranges. Now going to take a heavy beating to Sai's armies here now. Fletching is in as well. Grey getting fletching as well. But Grey, where are Greys? Grey is fighting on water, I guess, with the... What does Grey have? Yeah, going for the galleys. That's the reason for fletching in this case. But yeah, he's being hit at home base and took some losses there. Does have loom, so damage limited. Oh, some good raids from Sneaky Stab as well here. Burgundian scouts taking out 4 villagers, but Sai has killed even more on the other side here. Forcing another tower attempt from Testikoi here, who currently isn't collecting gold at all, which means that the galley production will be cut short very soon as well. Both sides definitely getting value from the raids, but it looks like right now it looks like Frontenac Castle Drop has some decent momentum on water, but there's the issue of the Vikings player with the longboat production going on here. And a trade cog. Classic misclick. Happens to most of us. Yeah, the longboats could quickly change that, especially since the landing aggression of Sai here is getting amazing value. 11 villagers killed so far. Nothing to defend against this other than stationary towers. Skirmishers being made by the Khmer. And now the Siege Workshop as well probably wants to get a Mangonel or at least some Scorpions out here. Scorpions might be more cost efficient at this point. But nothing to defend against this for GUI Destroy, and these archers numbers are just going to be so nasty for the teal player, not able to collect any resources. Look at the resource situation here. Food and gold. Almost looks like a fast Imperial Age attempt here, but I think it's just because of the chaos going on here that these resources have been piling up. 19 villagers killed by red. Incredible. And we can't even pass right next to the TC here because there are barely any villagers to garrison inside here. First Scorpion is out. Also committing to the repairs here. Double stables now from the Burgundians on land, so damage is being done by Sneaky Stab as well, but not nearly as much. And I think carried by Weber are going to have an easier time stabilizing at home. They've walled some of their resources over here. The archers even move over to try and raid the fish. I think that's a clever move as GUI destroy. Pulls the fish away, realizes that that might happen. Gold still nearly unprotected, but this is the Khmer Scorpion. It has 1 extra range. So I think if you split up this group of feudal archers, you still eventually going to take out that Scorpion, and the resources of Teal not looking great here. Doesn't have enough wood for another Scorpion over here. Longboats increasing in mass as well. Bad news for Frontenac Castle drop. Galleys still in production for the Bengalis player. Castle Age on the way as well, but they are going to be overwhelmed here by Carried by Weber, who are about to be all of the players in the Castle Age shortly, whereas we still have especially the Grey player Tistikui stuck in the Feudal Age here. Barracks, more barracks going up for the Incas, so going to add to this push in the Castle Age with triple barracks, eagles, and crossbows here. This game might end early on this aggression on land. Yes, there are Burgundian Knights raiding on Carried by Weber's side as well. The builder situation is comparable, but one team has all players in the Castle Age, the other does not. They decides that they have some more naval military numbers as well. They're fighting with Castle Age galleys and longboats against Feudal Age galleys on the other side. I think Vildra's still alive as well, so that could be in the Castle Age. We could be seeing a siege workshop added here as well. Lots of wood in the bank for Sai. Walls keeping some of the raids out, and the 4 galleys and longboats about to stop what's left of military from the Bengalis. A couple of docks down south here. War galley coming in as the Castle Age just kicked in for charge. Still not going to be enough though, as Grey is also losing the galleys numbers. Crossbow now in for the Incas. Eagle Warrior is as well. Says something about the economic situation. Sai barely took any losses. Has killed 28 builders and only lost 4 this game. Charge trying to re-establish the economy on land now with the Bengalis here, but is fighting an uphill battle against the Vikings on water. No bodkin arrow, but that was just clicked. So once that kicks in, the longboats should be trading better over here. Heavy Weber joining in with quite a few more galleys here as well, with the Castle Age blacksmith upgrades, so they're well set for a good fight against Charge over here. Our player still committing to Scorpion defense. That's not going to keep the Eagles away, at least unless you can get a larger mass of them working. And the economy doesn't really allow that for GUI destroy. This should be the end of the Bengalis naval armies. Landing, still producing some knights for Sneaky Stab. Yeah, does get lots of economic kills on land, to be fair. Forcing pikeman defense from Apache over here. Apache hasn't really... has been fighting on water as well. But it's Sai that really is the MVP this game for Carried by Weber, arguably, with the hitting the third player on land now. The GG well played is called. Frontenac Castle drop fought well, but it is carried by Weber's home map, and they seem to have a more, well, a better working plan and strategy for this game and map. Yeah. Plenty of kills for Sneaky Stab there as well, but just not enough to offset the losses taken from size raids. Thanks for the follow, Neo Moricho Makri. Economic situation well ahead for carried by Beber as well. They defended the raids well on home island, all things considered, so allow them to overwhelm the opponents on water. Right, so back to the drafts here. Armenians, Vikings. Funnily enough, not Malay, but Italians and Incas taking that one home against Burgundians, Bengalis, Javanese, and Khmer. The islands for carried by Beber. We're left with Chaos Pit and African Clearing left. We're going to see African Clearing most likely, because that's the home map of the Testikui's team. African Clearing. Vietnamese is kind of a given. It reveals the townsend location of your opponents. I'd say Magyars would be good as well for their cheaper scouts and ability to take map control early. Could do some damage, nice damage with early rates. Mongols, potentially also super fast scouts, or just super fast castle into step lancers. And last pick is a little bit more of a puzzle, but Turks could do well with the Janissaries, but then there's Georgians for the Monaspar as well. Gujaras I expect to see for African Clearing. Lithuanians as well. Great booming civilization with their food boost. Huns never needing to build houses, always handy. And then maybe Goths, because there's plenty of hunt on African Clearing as well. Let's have a look. Oops. Mistake. Here comes African Clearing. Which we eek. Let's fix that, shall we? Mongols, Georgians, Vietnamese, and Turks. So abnormal going for the Turks here to hopefully spawn relatively close to one or more opponents to make life awkward for them with the high firepower and damage output of the Janissaries. To stick with the Georgians over here. Long-term plan Monaspa, I guess, but also decent scouts opening because their cavalry units or scouts units regenerate hit points when they're out of battle, so something to keep in mind. You could also have a great boom and economy with the Georgians as the game goes on, because from the Castle Age onwards you could place fortified churches that will boost the working efficiency of your villagers. Mongols for Sneaky Stab. So let's see if that's going to be a super fast feudal age with scouts, or if it's just fast castle into step lancers and or Mangudai. Strong civilization for this map for sure. And charge finally with the Vietnamese down south here, going to reveal the opposing players' town centers locations once they complete their town centers. None of them complete just yet, so not seeing it quite yet, but there we go. There is it. Huns. Another reason for Huns on Nomad starts is that they start with a honey course. So you actually start with a scout after completing your town center on Nomad maps with the Huns. Relatively new addition to the Huns balance, but I think it's a good way to boost or buff Huns for Nomad starts without making them too overpowered on other maps. Of course, this makes it a lot easier to scout around the map, gives you an option that other players don't, but keep in mind that for regular Nomad, for example, where you want to build your Dochnisen early, Huns can't do that because they have 100 less wood to start with. In the red we have Sai with the Guryaras spawning berry bushes underneath the town center. Because of the Guryaras bonus, could also get a mill app and garrison sheep inside of that to have a passive food trickle as long as the sheep are garrisoned. It's nothing huge, but it's a nice little boost to the food income regardless. Apart with the Lithuanians starting with 100 extra food from the Lithuanians civilization bonus. And the honey course almost comes to an early death over here. But gets away with the half of the hit points left. And who's the last player? We have Heavy Beber going to be the punching bag for Sneaky Stab and Abnormal here probably. So most likely going to get a castle in the face from the Turks here and maybe from the Mongols as well, who knows. Grey and yellow, each of them set up decently for free booms to the northwest, and arguably the same for yellow and red and blue as well. With that out of the way, let's have a look at the scouting and speed this one up a little bit, as the Dark Age on Nomad starts tends to be somewhat uneventful unless someone goes completely crazy with the laming and whatnot. So all of the town center spots of just to rewrite the names as well. Then we should be good. Yeah, town center placement all in the middle for carried by Beber could be a disadvantage. But it depends on how the game plays out. Looks like Charles is going to try and secure the base from scouts, raids and whatnot here. Early feudal age for carried by Barbarians, so they love themselves some feudal age aggression. I can appreciate that, like we saw on the hideout game. So let's see what they're going for. See, military structure is going up. It's going to be the stable from Apach. Scouts opening from the Lithuanians. Nothing too uncommon about that. Guryaras nearly there for a fast castle, actually, with the gold. 4 on gold. One for the real faraway woodland, really exposed to early aggression over here. Much later feudal ages for Frontenac Castle Drop. We'll see how that works out for them. It certainly worked well for them on Nomad. It's also going to be the stable for the Huns. And finally the Tatars with the double ranges over to this side. That should keep any Turks and Mongols Castle Drop away if played correctly. It's going to delay your own Castle Age, but it can also do tremendous damage if you're able to find and reach your opponent's woodlines. Walls won't really keep archers away that easily, especially not once they become crossbows and eventually arbalesters. There's a village for Charles, definitely going down the fast castle route with the Vietnamese here. Wants to get those rat archers out nice and early. The Honey Horse is here to scout that. So, been getting quite some decent scouting here, but now that horse could go down if the villagers decide to attack. And the horse could get trapped as well, because the walls are about to complete here. Horse is trapped. So no more pre-scouting for the Hunnic horse. There's no way out of here until they find some way to break through. Let's have a look here. Archers out. Scouts out. Villager down. First villager kill of the game for now. No, going to get another one at the mill here. So Abnormal losing some precious food. Not able to click Castle Age just yet here, and actually places about to place a stable here, but now might as well just... Whoa! Double stables for the Turks. We're not messing around here for Abnormal. How are you going to sustain that? It's only wood and a tiny bit of gold. Not loving the Turks' approach here. That's probably a reaction to the armies already seen on the field. Meanwhile, Testikoi is going towards the Castle Age. Teal is already there with the Mongols as well. Mongols... Double stables, okay, that's gonna be the Lancers then, Step Lancers. And now no scouts. Finding the woodland, no Abnormal as well. The Turks player taking a serious blow here, going to lose plenty of villagers to the scouts. Rushes the scouts, no upgrades just yet, but the villagers aren't really fighting back. And here comes the first spearman, but it's just too late. And the archers joining in as well. Suddenly no wood access whatsoever for Abnormal. Stable doesn't really complete. There's no food, no particular food produced. Oh wait, there's food in the bank. So it's still possible to spend that food to produce scouts. Here comes a range, going to try for skirmishers now, most likely. In the meantime, sneaky stab. Not going for the lancers, going for this for the knights, in fact. Huh. Well, Green's certainly taking losses here, down to 19 builders. No military to provide here, carried by Bebe. They're now about 20 builders ahead, which is a lot at minute 19 in the game, especially on a nomad start like this. Mongols cleaning up the remaining starting archers of the orange player here. Heavy Weber. Don't think he has enough to deal with. To be fair, the Mongols knights don't have any upgrades. So just can still do proper damage, but yeah, ideally you want more numbers to comfortably clean up these knights' raids. Topside, Georgians placing castle as well. Front not castle drop. They kind of got three corners covered like this, so it's interesting. They need to creep up the map. They have a great positioning to do so. If they push purple away and then red, suddenly they have half the map in their own hands. But they have taken losses. The green player is significantly set back by the 9 early villagers' losses here. Scouts trying to pound through topside here, not going to do too much. Monaspa in the production for the Georgians now. Just one for the time being. Resource situation not really allowing for a lot more. Not currently collecting gold. Got 2 tons of Zapto, so committing to some resource production here. As now no needs to... Oh, all this could be scary. This area very vulnerable to Knights raids if that gets scouted by Frontenac Castle Drop. They haven't seen it yet. Yeah, and Orange doing the right thing here, fleeing away. It's only one player pushing them currently. They've done plenty damage to green. Meanwhile, Sai has gone straight for the Shawarma Shrivansha Riders here to get some good raids in on the Mongols player to limit the Mongols' Knights and Step Lancer production here. Oh, it's gonna be deadly over at the Fisher on 2 Spearmen to defend their green. Could take further losses. Rat Archers out on the field. Light Cav, not enough in mass to do anything in particular about that. We'll launch the Ramsha Riders, just a couple of camels out. Interesting, but they are relatively cheap, but they are super fast, especially with husbandry in. So they can dictate when and where to fight as they go about. Apache, in the meantime, dropping more town centers. Every town center you drop with Lithuanians generates 100 food instantly. And while green is still stuck in the feudal age for a little while longer, did stabilize to be fair, 34 villagers now. Carried by Beber are all in the castle age. They managed to get, or they are about to get town centers up to secure woodlands to the sides. You need to expand to the sides eventually to get your consistent wood income, even though there are some bits and pieces here and there. Tatars gone for the crossbows here. That does not scale into Arbalest for the Tatars, but that's not to say you can't do proper damage with crossbows in the castle age with Tatars, as they get instant thumbring. And as the game goes on for longer, they'll probably go into cavalry archers, as is one of their stronger units, and they've got unique technologies applying to them as well, but they could also move around the map with unique technology. With the unique unit from the castle, the Keshik, to raid and generate gold through raiding, or make hussars and spam across the map for maximum annoyance for the opposing side. Twice the military sites were carried by Barbarian, but we've seen Frontenac Castle Drop come back from worse on the Nomad game earlier. So this is far from over. Good Creek walls from Charge down south here, keeping the Knights raids of Now No out. Looks like they've stabilized to the side here as well. I'm not sure if that's properly scouted. Actually, Frontenac, they have no idea about the Huns TC over here. That could have been denied by the group of Rat Archers earlier, but they probably had to pull home to defend. Yeah, that's annoying. Idling. Potentially idling quite, yeah, that's CC's garrison, so that's idling a lot of economy for Sneaky Stab, which in return also puts a stopper to the cavalry production for the Mongols. Right hand side, Shrivansha's raiding again. Sai with 16 eco kills, did lose 14 as well. I think I've heard a siege weapon here somewhere. Looks like we got a decent mangonel shot in on these crossbows. Apache, however, untouched over here, and you could say that's about Testigui as well in the grey. So they're just booming away and getting their castles and economies rolling over here. So I don't know, do we have any? No fortified churches yet, but another castle for more Monaspa to be produced. And Hounding cavalry numbers increasing here as well to chase down the rat archers from the south area. Charge not really, well, Charge quite safe at home base, but also not really expanding all that much yet. Still that group of crossbow. Here comes the Mangonel though. Will we get the big hit? Will we get the big hit? The Heavy Bear might not be looking. Still committing to the crossbows, committing to Castle Age armies and aggression here. Oh, he is indeed looking. Pulls them away. Will not lose any particular amount of crossbows to the Mangonel, I don't think. Good micro here. Shri Vamshas helping out as well. Taking out that one Mangonel and once again keeping Sneaky Stab busy, not really able to produce anything currently. Abnormal has stabilized but has mainly wood in the bank, is being harassed by Shri Vamshas over here as well. So villager situation not looking too pretty for teal and green, however, the good booms from both Charles and Testikui. So who can get the better end of the deal here? Carried by Beber, they have a massive military advantage, but they are matched in economy from their opposing side. So they're keeping two players busy, but if the other two players are establishing better economies as a result, there's still potential for Frontenac Castle Drop to push back here. Here comes the castle on the stone to the side there, denying that TC of red. Precious wood income in the middle here. But I think... no. This is actually the only wood source Sai has currently. So it's going to be of huge concern unless Sai can somehow rebuild a town center somewhere safe. Should be moving to the left-hand side, to be fair. Or move somewhere out of the line of fire, but maybe they're feeling confident with the military situation they're in currently. Shirivamsha's at it again. But looks like the Georgians player has been getting some more than decent raids in as well. Could be looking at huge damage here. Does not see the gold mine. Does not see the gold mining happening over here. That could have been 14 dead builders for Orange, but no, just passing right by there. Oh boy. Siege added for Heavy Beber now, going to keep pushing the Mongols player further away. Mongols player, however, already relocated to the north. "28 Monas ban counting" means that they will be boosting each other's attack as long as they stay together in one group. Shirvamsha, again, will always outrun them though. They have significantly higher speed. Finally, the Turks castle is up, so maybe the addition of Janissaries here could shake things up from this angle for Frontenac Castle Drop. Janissaries no longer outrange Mangonels in Castle Age. They only have 7 range, they used to have 8. Hans Cavalry once again trying to catch the Vietnamese armies off guard here, but they just don't have the mass yet, not even with nearly full upgrades. You need more knights, as the Rat Archers are pretty tanky even at melee distance. So Sneaky Stab seems really incapacitated over here. Eco situation still comparable. military situation is as well, but it's never fun to be in a sneaky stab situation like this, constantly being pressured and not able to produce and provide for the team. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have Testikui going for the Imperial Age. That is, however, already in for Apache, and Apache has 3 castles to potentially produce trebuchets from as well. First trebuchet is out. First castle at risk of going down, but that goes in unprotected. What's the relic situation here? 1 relic for Apache, so that also adds to the attack output of the Lithuanians. I think in this situation you wait for more trebuchets before engaging as well, so that your siege weapons don't get sniped just like that. Georgians close to the Imperial Age as well, but 1 castle less could be relevant. Could be relevant in a trebuchet war at this top side. Oh! Red has made it through charge space, so charge just about to reach the Imperial Age. Is going to take some serious losses to the economy here now. The Shurianshaws, they dodged the first arrow projectile from TCs and castles and whatnot, so they are going to just run right into the economy here and slaughter villagers. Still more than 100 or more than 90 villagers left for charge, though, so maybe crisis averted. Castle being contested over here as well. Some rams joining in topside from now no with the Huns. Where are the siege weapons from Apache though? 3 castles but only 1 trebuchet and not really pushing. Ooh, teammate bringing in the monk as well. Oh, big fight, big fight. Hit points advantage for Apache, but attack advantage for the Georgians probably. Not elite though, but that's obviously not the case for the Lighties yet either. Once that first... Oh, it's a pity that relic is not in, but that's... No! Where are you going? Where are you going? Oh, oh, and he gets sniped. Oh, way. That's one useless old man right there, and the Monaspa trading beautifully against Lighties here. Maybe the mass Monaspa is the way back into this game for Frontenac Cast Drop. They are still outmatched, outnumbered in military and economy at this point. But just like that, Apache loses most, if not all, of her army, and now also losing a not insignificant amount of villagers here. Reboom to the top side. Turks player not doing too much offensively currently. I think it's still a good position for Carried by Beber, even with these raids. Yes, the Lithuanian player is taking a beating, but the Hunnic player is also pushing the southeast side and keeping the Vietnamese player at home base. And diminishing their army count. There's the Imperial Age for now, though, as well. Should be a pretty... almost instant Paladin upgrade affordable here. You have to go to Cavalier first, of course. So Cavalier and defense upgrades coming in. Rams. Huns get siege rams, so that could be an option here as well. Lots of grey in Apache's base. Apache is down to 54 villagers and constantly garrisoning at home base now. Lost all of the food income from idling the farmers, but it's massing up some Lighties over here. And with at least one teammate in the Imperial Age, now no could also sling some gold, potentially. Maybe not food, but at least gold to help Apache mass more units here. One spawn numbers, 8 in the queue, 30 on the field. Somehow Carried by Beber still able to keep their army size advantage as the Vietnamese player is losing the one and only castle, or the remaining castle, one remaining castle. So no more rat archers, and that's one of the death blows for this game, as another player is nearing the point of defeat here after the heavy fights to the right-hand side. The GG is called, but some people just... Oh! Oh! Oh, I saw the GG, but they're not giving up. They're not giving up. Ha! Oops. That's borderline bad-mannered. But someone feels like they still have a chance here. Yeah. That's unfortunate. Well, that's the end of the replay. I'm not sure what that means. Who called the GG first here? Surely it was Frontenac cast drop, right? Yeah. The GG was called by Frontenac. I can see why they would want to keep playing though, but then there's the GG really shouldn't keep playing after calling the GG, at least not in a... I mean, it happens in ranked, it's still bad-mannered, but it's less important than in a tournament. In that sense. So, this was the final score, 3-1 for Carried by Bever. It's unfortunate that that happened, but probably a misunderstanding more than anything. Someone wants to keep playing, someone doesn't want to, and then you type the GG and you... It's all confusion. I've been there as well and stopped to push after someone calling the GG and you relax a lot and then suddenly you feel a bit out of place or whatever. So you see the absence here. Some players, 2 players of each team making it to the Imperial Age. Society score 4 Lithuanian castles. I think it didn't matter in the end, but I think Apache could have limited the raids on her base by not focusing so much on lightness in the early Imperial Age, but rather getting 3 or 4 trebuchets out and start taking out the Georgians castles and forcing a fight earlier. Then it could have been a different outcome than it was on that side. But in the end, 3-1. GG well played to both. It is carried by Beber taking the win home though. Well, Guriar's pretty late pick there. So that concludes the 8th division of 4v4 League Season 2. Hope to see teams returning for the next one as well. Its sign-ups is open until May 6th.